More than 70 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed after Russian artillery hit a military base in Okturka, a city between Kharkiv and Kiev, the head of the region wrote on Telegram. Russian forces have launched rocket attacks that killed dozens of civilians in Ukraine's second city of Kharkiv, and began a renewed assault on the capital, Kiev. At least 9 people have been killed, including 3 children, and 37 wounded in one day after the shelling in the Kharkiv, the city's mayor said. The southern Ukraine city of Kherson is surrounded by Russian soldiers, according to accounts by a Ukrainian journalist, Alyona Panina, and the city's mayor. The International Criminal Court's prosecutor has announced that he will launch an investigation into possible war crimes or crimes against humanity in Ukraine.
In a televised address, today, Russian President Vladimir Putin claimed that Moscow's response would be instant if anyone tried to take on Russia. Here's what he said.
I have decided to conduct a special military operation. Its goal is to protect people who have been subjected to bullying and genocide for the last 8 years. And for this we will strive for the demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine, and to bring to court those who committed numerous bloody crimes against civilians, including against citizens of the Russian Federation. I urge you to immediately lay down your weapons and go home. All servicemen of the Ukrainian army who fulfill this demand will be able to freely leave the combat zone and return to their families.
Russia's war on Ukraine is now in its 6th day, with a miles-long convoy of Russian tanks and armored vehicles inching closer to the Ukrainian capital and fighting intensifying on the ground. But Ukrainian fighters are putting up a fierce resistance, and surprisingly, Russia has not been able to dominate the skies. There are increasing fears that as Russia becomes more isolated under an avalanche of Western sanctions, Vladimir Putin could become even more reckless and set off a world-altering war. Across Ukraine, civilians continue to bear the brunt of the conflict, with families and children huddled in underground subways.
As Russian missiles bombarded the Ukrainian capital Kiev on Friday, President Volodymyr Zelensky seemed to go missing. Italy's prime minister even told his own parliament, in a tremulous voice, that Mr. Zelensky had missed a planned call with him. Later, as Russian forces announced they had cut the city off from the western part of the country and captured strategic locations to Kiev's north, the Ukrainian leader emerged with one message.
They want to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying the head of state. We have information that enemy sabotage groups have entered Kiev. According to our information, the enemy marked me as target number 1, my family, as target number 2, the fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride, I am here. We are not putting down arms. We will be defending our country, because our weapon is truth, and our truth is that this is our land, our country, our children, and we will defend all of this, that is it. That's all I wanted to tell you. Glory to Ukraine.
They file into neighboring countries by the hundreds of thousands, refugees from Ukraine clutching children in one arm, belongings in the other. And they're being heartily welcomed by leaders of countries like Poland, Hungary, Bulgaria, Moldova, and Romania. But while the hospitality has been applauded, it has also highlighted stark differences in treatment given to migrants and refugees from the Middle East and Africa, particularly Syrians who came in 2015. Some of the language from these leaders has been disturbing to them and deeply hurtful. These are not the refugees we are used to. These people are Europeans, Bulgarian President Rumen Radev told journalists earlier this week of the Ukrainians. These people are intelligent, they are educated people. This is not the refugee wave we have been used to. People we were not sure about their identity, people with unclear pasts, who could have been even terrorists. In other words, he added, there is not a single European country now which is afraid of the current wave of refugees.